Her head flies off from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. And we all kind of watched it from the sidelines. I went, I'm glad I didn't do that stunt.
Stand down or be cut down.
Yeah, so we talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly constantly. Remember this idea of one character who's inherently righteous, apparently, one character who is inherently not righteous, and a character, Aaron's character, who's a little bit in the middle. This is where our characters kind of start. It's not necessarily where they end up. And watching them collide with each other for the first time in Philly, which was a set based on really the experience of playing, for me, Fallout 3, but all the different games where there's that first moment you reach a settlement and you realize that this is an apocalyptic story unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's not about the vast empty wasteland. It's actually about all the different subcultures that kind of emerge in the aftermath.
Can you talk about your character's first impression of each other?
I saved her.
And he'll never let me live it down.
No.
I think for Lucy, she's essentially a newborn baby who's just come up from the vault, and she didn't even think there was life on the wasteland. And then suddenly, seeing the power armor for the first time, she's seen it in manuals. She knows what it is, but seeing a knight in shining armor literally come down from the skies, I think she's just shocked.
Hi.
I think that's the whole show, is confronting Lucy with stuff and having her go in, having never really met a stranger before her wedding day, now be confronted with a whole town full of strangers. And we knew how the wedding day went, so she's going to be very uncomfortable there.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave him alone.
In the games, your character is really a composite of the choices that you make. You can't do that in the show. And so the answer to that, I thought was brilliant from the beginning, was this idea of an ensemble. The idea that you have three characters who represent, roughly speaking, the three places on the sort of spectrum of morality that represent the choices players could make within the games. But within the series, they represent the three different ways you can respond to the challenge of the total absence of law and order, the total absence, this completely open landscape in which who you are is really a question of the decisions that you make.
Well, I guess basic training ain't what it used to be.
It's an amazing thing that in this show we also get the opportunity to develop the characters like players in a game. He's new to the suit. He really doesn't know what he's doing. And I think Walton got to have a fun line of read the manual, something like that, And it really rang so true of like Maximus is jumping in over his head into the deep end, and he hardly can tell the proper depth perception to swing at the ghoul appropriately in that fight. These really outrageous things that are written into these brilliant scripts are, it's a great map for Maximus really treading water in a deep area that he's struggling. But we get to go from there, and it was really fun. It's really fun to be on the other side of it too, to be in control of the suit.
Do you have one behind-the-scenes story or most memorable sequence for you?
That fight in Philly, there's this moment where the power armor saves Lucy from getting shot, and he kind of grabs me and smashes through this wall, and it's amazing and epic. And we had one chance to get it because
you had to destroy
breaks down an entire wall. And so they said, okay, well, let's use a doll. Let's make a doll that looks a bit like Lucy, and we'll do it with the doll.
It looked just like you.
It looked nothing like me.
It looked just like
I don't know what happened. She had sort of like rope for hair. It looked nothing like me. And so, Shippy, he's wearing the power armor, like runs and he grabs this doll, goes through this window, and her head falls off. Her head flies off from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. And we all kind of watched it from the sidelines. Went, I'm glad I didn't do that stunt. Just like hilarious. I don't
totally
think
safe.
It's totally safe. We can use you or the doll, whatever you want.